Welcome to the podcast, The World According to Liz. Today, my guests are Olivia Hailey, president of the Bells, and her cohort, Karis Englehardt, vice president of the Bells. And actually, you've kind of lost your titles now because you're graduating tomorrow.
Yeah, for other people.
But you were this year.
We did it.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, the format of this podcast is I ask you some questions that kind of deal with the past and the future. And you're going to get to ask me questions as well. Okay. So I'm going to go first. Okay. And so each one of you are going to answer individually or together. I don't really care. But essentially, what was the biggest moment of your high school career? Freshman all the way through senior year. What was your biggest wow moment?
Like accomplishment or like?
Could be whatever you want. Accomplishment, realization of, oh my gosh, this is what it's all about. It could be, like for my daughter, it was probably living through her bell.
I was gonna probably say bells too.
That's what I was gonna say too. But multiple moments of bells. That was probably the biggest part of any of.
I would probably just say like the Friday night live games. Like that really got that shows you. It's just so high school. I don't know.
It was the epitome of your high school experience. That performance at.
I would probably say at home, like Dragon Stadium, not really the away games as much, and just like every time after you perform the jump split and then you get up and you're like walking off and you're walking closer and closer to the student section, you can actually see their face and they can see yours, and you're like because you're so hot, but it's so dark, but all the lights are on everyone and all that. I really liked that.
I would say after my tryouts every time. Because I'd be like, oh, I did that. And that taught me stuff about whatever. And then I was like, oh, I can relax. You know what I mean? That stuff. I was
Olivia, what tryouts? Okay, wait a second. I thought once you made
bells,
you made
I tried out 4 bells. I tried out 4 social. I tried out 4 president.
Okay.
So those are 3 different ones. But each time I was like, oh, I accomplished that. And I did it every time. So I was like,
yes. What do you hope to I'm going to ask my second question and then I'll let you ask a question. What do you hope to take forward? Okay, I've forgotten, Karis, where are you going?
OU.
OU, where, and you're going?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, okay. What do you hope to take forward? What big thing have you learned in high school? And not necessarily bells, because neither one of you are dancing at your schools, are you?
No.
Okay, well, but
we're not talented.
Yes, you are talented. Yes,
Maybe
you are.
I don't know if you've ever seen us dance.
Only on video because I don't go to the games anymore. When my daughter was a bell, we went everywhere, and we were still 5A then, or 4A, which meant we went to Denison. We went to Waxahachie. We went all over to different places to watch her dance. So I don't go anymore. But what are the things that you want to take forward with you to your schools?
I feel like my freshman and sophomore year, I really didn't care that much about my grades and GPA. Obviously I wasn't failing, and then my junior and senior year, I felt like it's actually rewarding to get good grades and actually try. And it really messes up your GPA when you're a senior and it's your freshman year. One time you just didn't do a project because you didn't want to and literally got a 0 on it. I would never do that now, and it's there's nothing you can do about it. And chemistry, I was so bad at it and I just let myself do bad, but I still passed. But I feel the last 2 years I've actually tried and wanted to get good grades and like how it feels about doing that. So then throughout college, I just wanted that accomplishment of feeling that way.
Trying, knowing that you can succeed, that you can do what you set your mind to.
That it doesn't matter to just not care.
Right.
It actually feels good to care and you have good grades.
Okay.
And there's rewarding with it.
What about you, Olivia? What do you want to carry forward to Ole Miss?
I would want to carry forward the sense of discipline that I've learned throughout high school. You know what I mean? I feel I'm very
She's so disciplined.
Yeah,
Karis was
very
making a funny
doing
face
all
at
my
you.
stuff. I've learned to have a schedule, be on a schedule, do the things that I need to do every single day. I don't want to it's very easy. I feel to just lose that. So I want to keep waking up early and all that stuff.
Missing class.
And bells has taught us to get up early. And not I keep going back to bells because I literally did that every single day of my entire life. But like just like take the stuff that I've learned from that to like be disciplined and keep it going without like
Stay
somebody
quiet.
like without the threat of a demerit, you know, to like
Right.
keep doing my thing.
But to keep that good discipline.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing I would say with my daughter. I watched her. She always had discipline because I was a mean mom.
Yeah.
No. What?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was a very
Why?
mean mom.
I could not imagine that, Liz.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I was a very mean mom. I was very rigid and expected certain behaviors.
Oh my
But I was
gosh.
very clear on what those behaviors were. It's not like on the flip side, I would say to her, "Why did you do that? Oh my gosh." I would always make it clear, like before we'd go into someplace, this is what I expect of your behavior. This is what I want you to do. This is how you should behave. You're going to be in a room full of adults. It may be awkward. If you feel awkward, let me know. I mean, just
Yeah.
that type of thing. Because I only had the one,
You only
Yeah.
had one daughter?
I only had one daughter.
Do you have
Oh, I
any
didn't know
sons?
that.
I have no other children.
You had an only child?
I had an only child.
Oh my gosh.
I had 4 miscarriages, so I only had
Oh.
one.
bad.
Well, it's the way it was meant to be.
What's her name?
Kate?
You didn't know that.
Wait,
Oh.
was she on Bells? She was on Bells, yeah. But was
She-
she an officer?
She tried out, so she didn't make bells her freshman year. There were only 4 that made it. What? Shh, I won't tell anybody.
So I guess I didn't make every child. That first one was a big big
Well,
flop.
The thing is she was a much better dancer at where she danced.
Yeah.
And dancing and bells are 2 entirely different
Yeah.
things, and so they didn't mesh well. And she was heartbroken, just absolutely heartbroken.
Yeah.
Was she on JV?
That she didn't make it. They didn't have JV then. You
Oh.
either made it or you didn't. And so it was her sophomore year when she made it that they opened up that they had a dance class. So Miss Page, Miss Bartosh then, actually went and taught this dance class for girls who wanted to become bells later.
But outside of the school.
No, it was the PE class that you took.
Oh.
It was like dance class?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
But it was
Well, there's still a dance class at the school, but it's like, it's nothing like
no.
it.
This was a bell dance class that she took.
So just girls who
Who like wanted to do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So your
And-
daughter did that.
So she did that, and then also
Her freshman year or sophomore year?
her freshman year she took that class, and then I think, and I may be making that up. I may be, I mean, this was 30. No, she's 40, so she would have been. This was 25, 27 years ago. I may not be remembering this correctly.
Maybe this was a dream.
Could be a dream. But anyway, I know that they had a class. I don't remember if she took it or not. But the dance studio that she danced at also started doing more drill team type classes.
Yeah.
And then they did a big kind of like how I do the SAT camps and things like that. They did a drill team camp to get girls prepped for it since it's so different from dance.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of their girls made the team as sophomores. So she made it, and she did a solo her sophomore year at competition that she choreographed herself and did all herself. We had no idea that people paid,
Oh yeah.
that it's
So much money.
professional to do that. She came up with the music, dubbed the music herself, choreographed it all herself.
It's a lot of work.
And when Miss Page found that out, it was it was a game changer for Kate. But then she decided 2 days before her junior year, she was going to graduate high school. So she was a junior and a senior all at the same time.
She graduated early,
She graduated a year early.
just for fun.
She hated it here.
Oh.
You girls are mean. And she, once a week in the Bell locker room, she cried. Somebody was mean, and it wasn't necessarily to her, but it could have been mean to her best friend or mean to someone that they didn't even know, or just, you know how it can be when you get a bunch of girls together.
Yeah.
I mean, even, where was I? I was at Nathan's lunch, or he had an award ceremony, and there were these 2 6th graders flipping their hair in the hall. And I turned to Kate and I said, "Those are mean girls in the making." She goes, "Boy, howdy." I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Girls can be, boys can be mean too.
Yeah.
But there's that attitude of I'm better than you. And it just really affected her to the point that she did not graduate. When she graduated and went to college, she didn't join a sorority because she's like, I've had enough estrogen.
Where'd she go
Yeah.
to school?
UNT. She did something stupid her senior year. We won't talk about it on
Her
here.
senior year of high school?
Mhm.
What was technically her junior year?
So she had to go to UNT, or
She did not have to go to UNT, but she got in some serious trouble with mom and dad. We were divorced at the time, but I said, here's a 45
Wait, you were divorced with Rob and you got back together?
No, not Rob, her
Oh.
father.
I thought that's what you meant to. You said at the time.
Yeah, you
You
said we
made
were
it sound
divorced
like
at
you
the
like
time.
had a little.
Thanks,
I
we
was,
all got
break.
married.
when she did this stupid thing, I was with Rob, but
wanna
we
know
were
what
not
this is.
married yet. But I was divorced from Kate's father.
But you had like Rob was like your boyfriend?
yes, yes.
Your man? You had a man?
You don't, at 39 years old, you don't call him a boyfriend. But
You were
yeah.
like,
I thought he was
you're
a boyfriend.
You're boothing?
My what?
You're boothing?
I don't even know what that is. I don't want to know what that is. But he was my man friend. Yes.
Wait, I have a good question.
Okay, you can go ask a question.
Okay, so I've actually thought this before, like whenever I go to your tutoring classes and stuff. You know how like you know so much knowledge and you're so smart? Like you just know so much biology, so much chemistry, like you just
Like every subject.
like you know every subject. Do you
Okay,
ever
thank you.
wish you went into a different career with all the knowledge you have?
No.
Like not just doing tutoring, like something like literally like a chemist, like an insane job.
Chemist.
it would be a chemist. But no.
So I'm not gonna do that job, but like, do you ever wish, since you knew so much and you're so smart,
actually
that
really
you
good
would have
question.
like done something else besides just sharing your knowledge as a side?
No.
Because like I feel like you could have, not saying you didn't to go to your full potential, but you just are so smart. Like you literally could have been like a doctor.
You're not the first one who's said that to me. When I was 26.
Because like you literally was just like, before this you were just like
Right.
teaching from your house.
Right.
Like
No.
that's not like a
But it's
normal
still
thing.
it's been a full career. I mean, I've been
Yeah.
doing this for 20 years.
So what happened when you were 26?
When I was 28, actually. 27, I don't know. I graduated, we had our 10-year reunion.
So last year?
No, yeah, right. I'm going to be 63 this summer. I went to my 10-year reunion, and at that time I was working at the post office, and I got up at 3 a.m, and I was home by 10. So my daughter, we didn't have to have daycare. We didn't have to have, all the extra things. I still got to raise my daughter, but was working full time. It was a really good mix of a job, for me to do while Kate was young. And one of my high school, I wouldn't call her a friend, but acquaintance was like, well, first they looked at Craig and were like, wow.
Wait, were you still married to him then?
I was married to Craig, Kate's dad. Yeah.
Okay.
And they were like, wow, how'd you get him? And you were just
Oh.
like, oh my God. Can you actually? Yes, exactly. There was a movement with her hand that you all can't see, but yes, exactly. I said something rude to her, and then someone else came up to me and goes, you were so smart in high school. You're just a post office clerk. And it was like, do you not understand? This is what works for my family now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the choices that I made now. I still have the rest of my life to make
Yeah.
choices and do things. I want to support my family and support my child, my husband, myself. This is what works now. I've always wanted to be a teacher and a goat farmer.
Were you ever a teacher?
no.
Or just
I
tutoring?
thought you were.
No, I've never been a certified teacher.
That would not be fun.
So, and when I started tutoring and realized all the crap that you guys put teachers through, not you necessarily personally, but students in general. And when you become a mass of students, how many times have you been in physics tutoring and heard me say
That was probably the most tutoring I went to.
that,
I've been going
shut
pretty
up.
consistently for like 3 years.
Yeah, you started with Vias with
Yeah.
me.
So I
And-
was failing math, and I never had. So I was actually like decent at math, like up until that point, and then I was like,
Yeah. And then you were coming a little bit one-on-one for chemistry at
Yeah.
the end. And then
Because I had
started
like
coming-
another tutor, but it was like really bad. I went to, what's that place called? My mom always sent me there.
I
Is
know
it
what
near
you're
the
talking
graduate
about.
coffee place?
What is it
Chelsea
called?
Hall?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Like I was like, it was like my mom sent me there like every day. It was so bad.
Your mom sent you there because I wasn't available for one-on-ones, and
Yeah.
your mom was.
But
of
they
the
didn't do
opinion-
one-on-ones either, or then they did, but it was like other high school students, and they were like getting all my problems wrong. I was like, where am I? Like,
Yeah, and your mom also was of the opinion that you had to have one-on-one. You couldn't do a group tutoring, and I was
I
like,
don't even know.
trust me, I'm fairly entertaining. She'll pay attention. But no,
My parents never even got involved with this. I was just like, hey, Liz.
But I've never wanted to do anything else. I didn't want to be a chemist because I wasn't good at research. I didn't want to go into biology because, like in St. Louis, which is where we lived most of the time, the only real place that you would go there would be Monsanto, which is.
Where did you go to college?
I went to 7 different universities.
7?
Yeah, I started with a full ride scholarship at Missouri School of Science and Technology. I had the highest math score on my S&T of all the girls in my high school.
Were you valedictorian?
No.
Were you
There's
like
a
top
rumor
10%?
that I was.
Wait, why
We
weren't
didn't
you?
rank.
Oh.
We didn't rank.
So like everyone just looked the same. Now there's like the Courts, National Honor Society, the
we didn't
Gold.
have any of that.
So
No.
like it wasn't.
Yeah, you get like ranked on your like thing.
No, you got a cord for National Honor Society. You got something for that.
Were you in that?
No, I wasn't. I didn't even know to try out. My parents were kind of MIA a lot in high school.
But you got the highest SAT score.
But I got the highest math SAT score.
So then you got a full ride.
But I did not get the highest English score. So I didn't get the whole thing. I just only got.
Oh, yeah, you don't do English.
No, I don't do English. Don't make me do words.
Or history.
No.
How do you tutor for history though? Like that's kind of straightforward.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I guess government and like econ you can tutor for that.
yeah, but like
But even history,
like,
it's better if someone tells you a story.
Yeah.
As opposed to.
Better as a dialogue. Like,
Yeah.
With our history tutor, like he's really knowledgeable, but the most productive sessions has been when someone's in the room, like asking questions.
And he can relate the story to
Yeah.
it.
You can put it in a modern lens and make why the past makes sense in the now.
So, anyway, did I answer that question of would I want to be something else? No, I love what I do.
Just because like I feel like you're just so knowledgeable, you could have like, I don't know. I mean,
I'll
Well,
never go to a high
understand.
school reunion.
Physics, I failed 3 times in college.
Oh my god.
And now
probably
it's my
really hard in
favorite.
college.
No, it's no harder than AP is here. We did electricity, and even though I was married to an electrical engineer, he
Correct?
couldn't. Craig. He couldn't explain electricity.
That is
to
such
me.
a weird name.
Craig or Rob?
Craig.
Craig.
Rob still can't explain it to me, but Rob can wire a house. But that's completely different than the electricity you learn. And
Wait, did you get married really young if you were 26 and already had Kate?
Yes,
When did you get married?
I was 21. I moved in with Craig when I was 18.
Wait, why did
What?
you go to 7 colleges? 8? That's my age, Liz.
I know.
Oh my god.
That's
I know.
crazy.
I graduated high school at 17.
So you were living with Craig when you went to 7 different colleges?
Yes.
What,
Yes.
Like what? 7 different colleges.
Okay, so he.
How are they all close too? If
They
still
weren't.
living
They
with-
weren't. They weren't. Okay, so he co-opted, which is what you guys call interning, but he would do it for 2 semesters and then go back to Rolla for 2 semesters. So the main college that I went to was in Rolla, Missouri, and we'd go to Kansas City. And when I was in Kansas City, I went to like a community college there one time. Then I went to another community college another time. Then I went to UMKC there. Well, so by the time he graduated in 1984, I didn't graduate because none of the credits from one meshed with the credits at Rolla for me to make an actual degree.
So you don't have a degree?
So, I do now. So that was 4. We moved to Indiana. Where we moved to in Indiana, we were 2.5 hours away from a university. I was not going to drive 5 hours a day to go to school because this was pre-online. There
Yeah.
was no internet.
Oh yeah.
There were no cell phones. You called your mom long distance and you paid $1 a minute. So you made your phone calls very brief
Yeah.
when you're on the phone with your parents. So I ended up, I had a job as a vet tech. I volunteered at the hospital and for a civic organization, all that type of stuff. And then I got pregnant with Kate. So Craig and I had already lost 2 children, and I lost a third. And so I was pregnant with Kate. So I had to quit my vet job because there were a lot of topical things. Stayed home. Kate was born on Christmas.
On Christmas?
On
That's
Christmas.
So cute.
And then Craig had a freak out moment that, oh my God, we're not going to have enough money. So he took a job in Florida. And so we moved to Florida. Then after a year, we moved back to Indiana. We had not sold our house, so we moved right back into the same house. We stayed there, and then, because we went back to the same company that he was working for, then we moved to St. Louis. We waited a year. I went to school at a university in St. Louis. And after a year, after 2 years, we moved to Indianapolis. I went to school. We waited a year for me to get residency. I went to school there. And then we moved down here. And 2 days before we closed on our house here, he said, "See ya. I've been having an affair for the last 2 years. I moved you here because it's a 50-50 state."
Wait, to Texas?
Uh-huh. He would have had to pay me alimony and everything in Indiana. So he purposely moved us here.
Wait, but when did you graduate?
I
You
ain't
still haven't
graduated.
graduated?
Still in graduated.
Wait, how old is Kate?
7. And so
Did he not move to Texas with you?
he did. He
no,
did.
he moved here because she
He
wouldn't
moved
get it.
here,
as,
took a
like,
job
much
here,
money.
moved the woman that he was having the affair with here.
But not together. Like you were now just in a house with Kate.
I was just in a house in Southridge Lakes with Kate. And so he had, the divorce said that until we found a buyer for the house, I could stay in the house with Kate. And at that point, South Lake Newcomers Club, which no longer exists, had done a promotion and basically gave me a scholarship. And so I went to UTA and finished up and got my degree.
They gave you a scholarship?
They gave me a scholarship for my last 3 semesters.
So what was South Lake Newcomers Club?
Well, South Lake Women's Club at that time was restricted. Not restricted like certain people couldn't get in. It was restricted to a certain count because they met in people's homes. Because the Tiburon Country Club and even the Tiburon Guest House wasn't built yet. So we were still, we were that new. It was 1993.
You've lived here since 1993?
I'm sorry?
You've lived in South Lake since 1993?
Yes. Yes. So.
Bruh, I would have killed your husband.
Oh my gosh, don't say that.
No, that's actually crazy work. Like moving her here so that you can 50-50 split.
It's kind of evil.
Like
yeah.
with the mistress. Like,
Yeah.
are we kidding?
Have you ever seen him since?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah,
Is
'cause
he
it's Kate's
is he
dad.
still with that girl?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And Craig said, or Rob always teases that when I wear you guys have seen my wedding ring, right? It's pretty flashy.
The new one?
The big ring that I usually wear. And Rob always teases that Susan doesn't like diamonds. I was like, why? She always frowns when she sees your ring.
So y'all all hang out.
No, we don't hang out. Hell no. No.
But you just
never
have to
speak
see
to
him
him
because of Kate.
I see him because of Kate and the grandkids. So when Kate got married, we saw him. And
Does he live in South Lake too?
they lived in Flower Mound. And so then they've since moved to Arizona.
Oh, so really don't really see him.
No, we don't see them. No.
That's crazy.
So, but that's how all those different universities add up. That's how I ended
Yeah.
up going to 7. It took me 18 years. I was the first grandchild to go to school, and I was the last grandchild to get my bachelor's.
Oh my gosh.
Out of 6 of us.
The first to go, the last
Everybody
to end.
finished before me. Some even got 2nd degrees before I even finished my bachelor's.
That's
But
actually crazy.
again, life is the way it is sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom went to college for 8 years. Just because, she had to work so much to pay it off.
You do. And you guys don't understand. Your parents have saved up and for your college degrees, right? To pay for your college experiences. My parents didn't do that. I had to pay for everything myself.
Yeah.
I lived in a generation where it was amazing that 2/3 of my graduating class went to college. 10 years earlier, only half went to college.
Yeah.
And of the 2/3 that went, a third went to a 2-year university, a third went to a 4-year
Like a
university.
junior college.
Yeah, junior college. And a third didn't even go to college at all. Okay. So
That's crazy.
we don't have any Kleenex in here, do we?
I can go get
Oh my
some.
gosh, I know. My nose is so gross.
Could we?
Yeah, I can go get
Ew.
We will pause.
Yeah, we'll pause for
Okay.
5.
Wait, can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
No.
see?
Yeah.
Yes, go
Yeah,
and get a drink or whatever you need. All right. Well, welcome back. We were talking about me moving here in 1993.
Oh, yeah. And then finishing because the new South Lake Comers gave you the scholarship.
Right. And so it took me 18 years to graduate.
Yeah. And then you
Graduated in 98.
And then Kate's, and then did you stay in South Lake?
Oh, yeah. We stayed here the whole time.
What was your job?
After I graduated, I worked here in South Lake for an engineering firm that is now do you know where the CARIS, the Caris?
Caris?
Yeah, it is
Caris?
pronounced. It's like It's like Care is what
I actually know where that is. Yeah,
um
because I see it because it
the
looks like my name.
Bicentennial Building is what it used to be called, but it's right there by the entrance to Bicentennial Park. So I worked for an engineering firm there.
So you were just like a single mom.
I was a single mom, yep. And I worked there. And then I took another job down in Oak Lawn for a couple years. And then in the meantime, I'd met Rob, and we had a very whirlwind romance.
Ooh.
6 weeks. He asked me to marry him.
What? Kate was probably like, my mom's going crazy.
No, she actually when she was on a Belle Disney trip, and she had never met him, but she came back with a present for her dad, for Rob, and for me.
Aw.
Because she could just tell the way I talked about him that this was it. And I said, well, I have news for you, because she came back from Belle, and I was like, we're engaged. She's like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
So-
How old was she? Probably 16, 15 at this time.
She was
15, 16. She was only
she was
on in her
16.
sophomore,
She was
junior
16.
year.
It was her sophomore year, 16. And so, because then we went around, and then she did the stupid thing of December, right after she turned 17, and then she graduated high school. And because she did the stupid
How'd
thing,
she do all her credits so quick?
well,
Online stuff like that.
the only thing that you don't have to have 4 squared. You don't have to have four social sciences, 4 language arts, 4 maths, 4 sciences.
Well, they tell
That
us that
started in 2011 with Governor Perry.
now.
And he
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
the 4 square. And that's when all the stars started. And you had to pass 15 of the 16 stars.
You can fail a star.
You can't fail any of the 5 high school stars. But you can.
Like in
but at that time there were
kindergarten.
15.
Not kindergarten.
15.
Do we still have?
Stars in high
You
school?
have 5. You have 5.
There was 15 in high school.
There were 15 in high school.
Oh, that's a lot.
So anyway, and it was costing the state so much money, they backed it down to the 5. At that time, she had to have 4 English and 4 math, 3 science, and 3 social sciences. So she had to take an extra English outside. And so she went, Grapevine Colleyville has in their DAP program, is that what it's called now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had kind of an off-campus English that she could take.
Yeah.
We had to pay like $300 for it. And the teacher just loved her because she actually tried,
Yeah.
as opposed to the rest of the stoner slackers and
Oh
kids
my
who should have
gosh.
been arrested, juvie,
Yeah.
kids. And the teacher would email me every week. She's such a pleasure having class. She's so wonderful, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, that's how she graduated.
That's good.
And then because of the mishap, we drew a circle of 45 miles and said, you can go anywhere here.
That's why she went to UNT.
And that's why she went to UNT. She did not want to go to SMU because it was South Lake 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She wanted to go to TCU, but she didn't get in.
Oh.
And we don't know why.
But did she get into SMU?
Yes.
Oh, that's weird.
Yes.
What about Texas?
What Texas? That's not
UC.
45 miles away.
What about oh yeah, what about Tech? Is that 45? No, that's way more.
Tech's far.
I'm thinking weird now.
That's all right.
Really, all you have is SMU,
I
TCU,
need to know what this
UNT,
means.
Arlington, like
Right. Yep. That was it. And she went to the UNT campus, and it was a universe, godlike thing, whatever you want to talk
Mean
about it.
Green.
No, is that where we?
No, we went to UTA for our bell competition. We went to UT Arlington for the bell competition.
No.
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
also Dallas University,
just
which
now?
is a Catholic.
Oh no, I was talking about the one 2 years ago. I think we drove past it.
What are you thinking of?
We go to all those types of places for a competition.
We went to Texas State. That's
Oh, that's where it was. Yeah, that's far though.
that's far.
Yeah, that's in San Marcos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
UNT. That's where Rory's mom went, I think.
Wasn't it used to be like Texas Women's?
Yeah. To be an all-girls
UNT
school.
used to be Texas Women's, right? Or is it a different one?
Texas Women's University is still there in Denton.
Okay.
Wait. I
So then when
swear.
did you marry Rob?
2009, but we were cohabitating as soon as he asked me to marry him. Well,
I
a
don't
few
even
months
know what
after
that
that.
means. Oh, date.
Cohabitating?
Yeah,
means we live together.
co-living. Yeah.
Habitat is.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's crazy, and y'all been together ever since.
Yeah,
How did you meet him?
online.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Like Tinder. It was probably not called that.
It was, yeah.
Hinge.
So you were just like on the dating apps and you were just like looking around.
I was only on one.
and then wait, so how many dates did you go on with people online? Just Rob?
Oh no, quite a few.
Oh my
Ooh,
gosh.
girl.
Quite a few. But I always went to the same place. I always where the wait staff knew me. So that if I ended up in a bucket the next morning somewhere chopped in little
Yeah.
pieces, the wait staff knew,
Yeah.
who the guy was that I had dinner with the night before. I was smart about it. In
Yeah.
other words, I wasn't, oh yeah, let's get.
And Kate was in high school, so it's not like she's like a little child.
No, and she never met them. Oh no. That was my parade, not
Yeah.
hers. So yeah, it was all
Until Rob.
well, and even then, like I said, it was 6 weeks. He'd already asked me to marry him before he'd even met Kate.
Had he ever been married before?
Twice.
And then his
Why?
third marriage, he asked someone 6 weeks in.
He's a very decisive man.
No, but do you get what I'm saying? Like, on the surface
it looks insane.
Yeah.
of your third marriage asking 6 weeks in, like, that looks like set up failure.
Yeah.
On a dating app, 6 weeks in for his third marriage, like,
Well,
beat the
wait a
odds.
second. We didn't go on our first date until 9 months after his initial email to me.
So you guys were emailing.
Oh, so I guess you knew
Kind
each
of.
other for 9 months.
Not really, no. Okay, so his initial email was, you say all the right things. I know the difference between movies and films, and I enjoy both. Blah, blah, blah. I think we should, maybe have a drink, get together. And I read his profile and went, no, don't think so.
What's on his profile?
Well, he was into NASCAR and working on cars and all of this. And it was like,
Bad boy-esque.
I think your neck's a little too red for me. Thank you. But no,
Oh,
thank you.
yeah.
And he was like, sometimes when a girl says no, it just
It
makes
makes
a
them
boy
want more.
want more. And so that spurred more emails. And so there was lots of conversation back and forth between these emails. And I finally got him to accept my no. And then this was in September. And then in December, next thing you know, he's emailing me again. Come on.
So I guess like you guys like knew of each
So
other.
we knew of each other, and we had when you have to write letters, that you're telling someone about you. You guys, you live in a text world and a tweet world and a Snapchat world where that shit disappears.
Yeah.
These were
They were real.
long. Well, no, they weren't long, but you had to put thought into them. They weren't flippant. They
Yeah.
weren't, you would read them and edit them and maybe take a couple days before you'd send it. So it was a little bit different than the way you communicate now.
Yeah.
And so he finally called in March and we set up our first date on March 13th. He called me on his birthday.
Oh my god.
We had a date the next weekend. He stood me up on our second date because he was so scared.
We just didn't go?
Didn't go. Well, we didn't set it out. And
So you just didn't set it up.
we just didn't set it up. And then he called me a couple weeks after, or a week after that. I was like, dude, why? And he didn't, he was just like, I don't know, but just give me another chance. And so after that, it was constant. And but he was scared. He was just scared because I was
Your beauty.
no, it had nothing to do with my beauty. I'm not beautiful, but I was everything that he
Wanted?
thought that he wanted in a woman. Yeah.
Everything he didn't get the first 2 times.
I was smart. I was,
I was smart. I was courageous. I was beautiful. I was brave.
No. But it takes a lot to be a single parent. It takes a lot to get your degree after 18 years. And
Yeah, I'd give up.
so those, you would not.
Ever 18
I would come and kick your ass.
Every
You would
18
not do
years,
that.
I would be done.
So, all right.
Some online TCC class.
Okay, enough about me. What is your question, Miss Hailey?
Oh yeah, that was still my question. That question went on forever.
Okay, mine's a little bit more surface level,
Okay.
So if you could ship by chance pair any 2 of your students
Olivia, that's messy.
to date, who who would you do? Who would like go pair together, and you would send them on a first date,
That's
like
so
your dating
bad.
app?
Oh my gosh.
This is good, right? This is such a good one.
Oh my
They probably
gosh.
won't
I don't
even
know if you should
listen.
answer that.
They probably won't even listen.
That's a juicy one, but I don't know if you should answer that.
Do I want him to have fun or do I want to be mean?
Either, but you're the dating app.
Oh my gosh. I'd like to find somebody for Hope.
Real.
Yeah.
But
By the way, you guys were beautiful on prom.
Oh my gosh,
Cute.
yes. I felt bad because everyone did like.
have a date, yeah. Except
She carried it off well.
Oh yeah. No.
Who would I don't know. I have no idea. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to think about that.
Okay, we can come back to it.
You should have gone first. So I can think about that. Who would I pair
That
up?
honestly
This
took me
is
a.
why you vet the questions.
No! No. They always tell me, you need to know the questions first. And it's like, I can't do that because then I'm answering to the question before you even asked it.
Yeah.
Who would I pair up? Oh my
What
gosh.
about Elizabeth?
What?
My sister.
Elizabeth.
Oh.
See, this is hard.
See, I don't know enough of the junior. Oh, who? Oh. See, now, okay, here's the problem with this question.
Okay.
Boys are different in my class
Then in like real life.
than they are in real life.
Yeah.
So, like, there are certain boys that I like. Not
Yeah.
that I think
crush
are good
on your- I'm
boys.
just
No,
kidding.
no, that's exactly, yeah, when I said that, I was like, no, ooh, ick. There are boys that I think are so nice, then would be nice for, like, if my daughter were still in high school,
Yeah.
oh, I'd want him to date him. And then I have privates, and I'm like, you're a jerk. Or the opposite. They are so terrible in my class,
Mhm.
but when I'm with them in person, I'm just like, oh my gosh, you can really be
Mhm.
A good person.
a nice person. You actually have feelings. You actually think about things that where you act like a vapid butthole
Yeah.
in my classroom.
Yeah.
Okay, there are no freshman boys that I would put your sister with. Absolutely none.
Elizabeth is kind of a menace too, though.
She's a what?
A menace too.
What do you mean a menace?
Like,
I don't really know how to describe.
Like Dennis the Menace? Like she's a troublemaker?
no.
Not a troublemaker.
She's not
no.
like a traditional
a
menace. Like,
bad.
she's not a baddie, but she's like
She just has attitude.
she just
I
has a
think
lot of
that's-
personality.
A personality, big personality. But I guess you have to when you're Olivia's younger sister.
Yeah.
Probably. My sister struggled with that in high school.
Because you were so alpha.
Oh, are you shitting me? I was pep club president for 2 years.
What's Pep Club? Shit.
So think crew, but more. So we would, if the cheerleaders weren't doing their jobs at the football games, we would rally the crowds. We'd stand up in front of the stands and rally the crowds. We decorated the buildings.
Mhm.
And when I say decorated, it used to be just with crepe paper the first few games. And as we continued to win, we built like docked the Pirates, and we built
Oh my
we
gosh.
built a dock,
And you were
and a cardboard.
president.
and I was the president of it. Yes, and my sister,
Was not.
I was known as Liz
With a
Wiz because I was the wizard.
Oh my god.
I could just make
Liz
stuff
Wiz, 'cause
happen.
That was the.
Wait, I'm gonna call you that.
Okay, but looking back, kind of to what we were talking about earlier, like I wish I could see Old South Lake.
Town Square wasn't there.
Whenever I moved in, even the whole like Park Village shopping center wasn't there.
Park Village wasn't
Oh,
there.
Park Village. No,
The
Park
Winding
Village.
Creek, you know
Park
that
Village was
neighborhood?
the entrance to. There was
the other
a-
like farm or whatever. Not farm,
well,
but like the
there-
bunch of land.
There was an airstrip there
What's an airstrip?
where planes would
Planes.
land,
like private planes.
private planes.
Yeah.
and there
People
was
had
a
private
hangar.
planes.
What?
People had private planes here.
Yeah,
There's like private airstrips everywhere because you can take whoever has the private plane has to go
But
everywhere.
basically, Winding Creek, that neighborhood, like when I first moved in here, my
Yeah.
neighborhood's across the street, and it was an entire farm.
Yeah,
Winding
that's what I was
Creek.
talking
Where's
about.
Winding Creek?
Like
Right
near
next to
Central
Park
Market.
Village.
Like Central Market has
Oh.
that neighborhood, Oak Tree Estates, like that's where I live, and then across the street's that new neighborhood, like
Yes.
Winding Creek, that
Yes.
they keep building.
Yes.
That was like an entire huge farm.
Yes.
Like
And
a
that's-
man owns that all.
The airstrip went from where Park Village is, where Xena Rucker Road is, all the way down where Winding Creek, where that subdivision is.
Oh my gosh.
And so, but
No Town Square, what was
1709,
there?
1709 was 2 lanes, 1 lane each way.
What's 7209? South of Boulevard?
South Lake Boulevard,
Was only 2 lanes.
2 lanes, 1 lane
Like
each way. Yep.
2.
No, one.
One.
And there was no stop lines.
It's like her best friend.
There were no stoplights. There were only stop signs. And when they finally put in a stop light that was blinking.
No.
Where White's Chapel is.
Yes.
There was a stoplight that
Where-
was blinking.
Blinking.
Like a blinking red.
Yeah.
Like a stop sign.
Instead of a stop
Was
sign.
White's Chapel there?
The church was the original one. They've added,
Rebuilt it, right? Or
They've added so much.
They've added so much, but it was just the original little church.
They still have that little church too.
Yeah, they do. They use it as a chapel
Yeah, like for people to get married and stuff.
for if you have a small wedding or if you're getting your child baptized or something, privately. That
And
type of
then
thing.
the administration building was high school, and then Old Dragon Stadium.
The administration building. So do you know where? Okay, you know where Johnson Elementary is, right?
Yeah.
There's a law office building that's on the corner of Highland and Carroll. That's where the administration was.
No, but wasn't
And the intermediate school was there as well. We only had one middle school and one high school.
How many elementary schools?
When we first moved here to Johnson and Carroll.
But wasn't like where the administration building is now is where the high school was, and like it was right next to the football field.
They had just built the new high school, the senior high that you're in. And but they still played at Old Dragon Stadium. As long as I've lived here, it's been Old Dragon Stadium.
Yeah.
Now
It was still Old Dragon Stadium when you were
they
here?
played there until
Well,
Kate became Kate's sophomore.
But it was just called Dragon Stadium.
Dragon Stadium.
I think you're
wasn't-
saying it's always been Old Dragon Stadium till you've been here.
Yeah. Well, we called it Dragon Stadium.
Yeah.
And then when Kate was a Belle her sophomore year, she was the first. Yeah, it was the first year that they played at the new stadium.
Oh my god.
So she was,
There's a big difference between those stadiums.
her Belle
Career.
team started on the new stadium.
The new stadium is so much different because I remember when me and Olivia were
And it-
Dragon Youth cheerleaders.
Yeah, but it was still
That's where we
small.
would do it.
It was
Oh,
it was so
yeah.
much smaller. I mean, the stadium the seating was smaller than what it is now because they've added up, they've added out, they put them on the end. We didn't have any of that.
I feel like one day will be like a Coliseum where it goes like all around.
Possibly.
That'd be cool.
I
I
just
like
hope they don't
Dragon
make the
Stadium.
mistake of what Allen did and have to tear it down and rebuild it.
Wait, why did they? What was their mistake?
I don't know, but they hired inferior contractors and they spent $70 million and it cracked within 2 years and they had to tear it down and redo it
That's
again.
so bad.
So that's $70 million that went to a stadium as opposed to your education.
Hmm.
Think about that.
That's literally.
Think about how many
insane.
teachers that would have paid.
Yeah.
In light of what's going on, that's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
This is why parents are upset about,
So I'm glad
about
we're
what happened.
graduating.
Yeah. Real.
Like,
So
thank
regardless.
God we're leaving.
Okay, my last question to you.
Okay.
You still haven't answered who you ship.
I
There's no one.
I don't know who your sister can date. I don't know who
But
can.
not just my sister. It can be anybody.
I feel like that's a hard one. Okay, what's your last question?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
'Cause I have to pick up Connor.
If you had to give, okay, so you have Elizabeth that you could give advice to. You're the youngest.
Yeah.
But if you had a younger sister or brother, what would or if you could go back in time to your freshman self, because essentially you were going to be entering freshman, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're doing this new change. As a senior right now, as being the big women on campus, and I don't mean big in the size of your ass, I mean that you were powerful women, okay?
Seniors who rule the school.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, what would be your advice to an entering freshman?
Try new things, but not that many new things. You don't need to explore everything all at once. Like,
Ooh, I like that.
it's okay. Like, you're still a freshman, you can still be it, but you don't need to try to just immediately do everything and, like, be cool and, like, I don't know, like.
Just take your time.
Also, like, failing and being exhausted and not, like, ever sleeping is not cool. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, be like, oh my gosh, I didn't sleep at all last night. Like, I was up. Like, that's not cool. Like,
I would say if you're going to like commit to do something, if you're gonna do something, like give it your best. Like if you're gonna commit to have good grades, have good grades. Like you know what I mean? Like put your mind to whatever you want to do. And that doesn't have to be everything. You don't have to like be the best at everything, but like be the best at what you want to be the best at. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
I
don't
totally
like
get it.
half-ass things.
Right.
Like either just do it or don't do it.
Right.
That's
No,
what I
and
would
don't
say.
sign up for so much that you can't
Yeah.
do anything.
Like there's several things where I'm like, oh, I wish I probably would have given a little bit more effort to that. Because, you know, I mean, like, I did it, but did I
But you
fully
put in a
do
lot
it?
of effort into honors calculus.
I finished with an A.
Girl.
Period. But anyways, yeah, that'd be what I have to say. Just like pick your battles, but like
also just like also talk to older kids to know what you need to be in the end with, like clubs and that type of stuff. Just
yeah,
like, feel like sometimes I wish like, oh, I had no idea that was even a thing freshman year. Like,
yeah.
I wish my freshman year, like I took dance as my elective. I wish I would have taken computer science.
Okay.
Like AP computer science. I didn't know to do that. Do you get what I'm saying?
I do. Let me ask you something else. Do you wish that you were all at one high school instead of separated into two high schools?
No.
So that you could potentially ask.
No,
I
because
wouldn't have I would have
upperclassmen.
been too scared to that even.
and
ask
also
anyways, you know?
I was in ASL, so freshman year I did have to go to the senior high for a period every day, and like be one of the only freshmen here. Like it's not fun. Like,
I like how they have us separated. To be honest,
like
You
it
do?
was
Okay.
not fun. Like being like walking through those halls, like and having to like get on the stupid shuttle bus, and you're like 14 and all these. Like, and I remember like whenever I was a freshman, like it was like Landon Sampson was like a senior, and I thought he was like so cute, and he literally looked like he was 25 years old, and I was like 15, and I would like see him in the hallway, like
full like facial hair going.
yeah, and
it
it
was just,
literally looked like it was an adult like who was about to be engaged like out of college, and I thought he was like so cute, but like this man like, and I was like 14, and I was chopped, like. That's what I remember from going to the senior high.
Okie dokie.
Was seeing,
freshman and senior don't mix.
just like, but like not even talking to anyone. Like me, Kenzie, and Shondi would always be there because we were the ones who had the classes, and we'd always be like, meh. And then like it was so bad. And like the shuttle bus was horrible.
The shuttle bus was horrible. We'd always get stuck on like after bells. We'd have to shuttle back.
But
to
it wouldn't
the-
just be like bells, like because we were in the like bells. It's fine because like you're in the locker room and you go out to the shuttle bus, like it's immediate. Like I had to be in the middle, dead center of the school, like walk through all of them, like.
Well, at least
You have to go to the
we'd always have to get
bathroom.
stuck on like the special needs bus, like the short bus, because we'd like get out of the locker room late, and that was the only bus left. So we'd all like ride back on like the short bus to school.
Oh, girls. Well, thank you for coming and talking to me.
You're welcome.
Thank you for all the questions.
Thank you for your life story.
For the junior, you know, who.
It's almost like the prom question relationship that never happened. Like that was one of the superlatives.
Who was it?
I don't remember. Someone I don't know.
What prom question?
Like the superlatives, like prom queen, king, most athletic, most smartest.
Oh.
One of the
okay.
questions was like relationship that never happened. Like that's a question every year. But
Really?
I don't
Yeah.
remember who got
Like
it.
who? Like I guess like almost did, but
It's a
didn't.
weird one.
Or like always had a thing but never like actually made it official. I don't remember who got it.
That's
though.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember it was Gonzalo last year.
And who?
Maddie Clark.
Oh yeah.
See, and that's what I'm saying. For me to say that, all I would have would be just how they act in my classroom.
Yeah.
I can't answer that.
It's okay.
I can't answer that.
Didn't think about it.
Yeah, try again later. Shake an 8-ball.
I mean, I know who. There are some boys, And it's funny because there's some boys who I've said, oh, they're so, they're so good. And students will say, but he's this at school.
Yeah.
And I just, so for me to say
Or
someone's
that on Snapchat.
or to say someone's name out in the world, you'd be like, why would she say that? And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are certain students that are some of my favorites that I do let slack a little bit when they're misbehaving in class.
That was actually my first question. My original question was, do you have favorites or do you like everyone equally? But then I knew the
She
obvious
definitely
answer.
does not.
Look,
Like,
That's
know
why
I
I
have
didn't ask
favorites.
it. Because like when you ask like teachers, like parents, that like it's always no.
Oh, I have favorite grandsons, and I only have 2.
Oh my gosh, that's bad. I would
No.
hate to be your grandchild then.
What?
Because what if you weren't the favorite?
Oh, they both think they're my favorite. No worries. No worries. And it's just the one is favored so much more by his parents that's why I favor the other one so much
Yeah,
more.
that's true.
So, but he was also my first, so he will always be my.
Oh.
And like he's older too. I mean, when they're younger, they're kind of annoying.
No.
No, when
Yes.
they get older, they're annoying. I swear. Like with like kids that I watch, like usually when I'm babysitting, like the older kid is always one that gives me more problems because like they think they're like it.
Because they're older
Yeah.
and they've got attitude.
Yeah.
And they know what buttons to push.
Mm-hmm.
Where the younger ones are like,
They're just
Just
happy to be
giggly.
there. Yeah.
they're just giggly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, all right, girls. Well, thank you.
Of course.
This is The World According to Liz, episode number 5. If you like us,
Bye.
please subscribe.
Subscribe to my channel.
I hope these go viral one day.
Are these on YouTube?
They are. Yeah.